Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People stands as a timeless masterpiece in the realm of human relations. Its profound insights remain invaluable for anyone seeking to enhance their social intelligence, wield influence, and refine their leadership abilities. Despite being penned 84 years ago, its principles continue to resonate today, evident in its enduring status as one of the world's best-selling books. In this video, I'll distill the essence of the entire book, providing a comprehensive summary that encapsulates every chapter and crucial detail. By engaging with this summary, you'll glean the essence of Carnegie's teachings, effectively claiming the essence of having read the book itself. Part 1. Fundamental Techniques in Handling People. Chapter 1. Of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People emphasizes the importance of refraining from criticism, condemnation, and complaint in human interactions. People, Carnegie argues, are inherently sensitive to criticism due to their emotional nature and pride. Criticism tends to elicit defensive reactions, leading individuals to justify their actions rather than reflect on them. Even in extreme cases, such as family members of criminals, individuals may resort to denial rather than facing criticism head-on. Criticism not only wounds pride, but also fosters resentment that can endure for a lifetime. Carnegie illustrates this principle with the story of Bob Hoover, a renowned airplane test pilot who faced a critical situation when his plane's engines failed due to a mechanic's error. Despite the gravity of the situation, Hoover chose not to criticize or condemn the mechanic, but instead demonstrated faith in his abilities by entrusting him with future service. This anecdote underscores the effectiveness of positive reinforcement over punishment in promoting behavioral change, a principle elucidated by psychologist B.F. Skinner. Ultimately, Carnegie argues that anyone can criticize or complain, but it takes genuine character to understand and forgive. By refraining from criticism and adopting a more empathetic approach, individuals can cultivate stronger relationships and influence others positively. Chapter 2 highlights the significance of giving honest and sincere appreciation in fostering positive relationships and influencing others. Carnegie asserts that one of the strongest motivators of human behavior is the desire to feel appreciated and valued by others. This craving for acknowledgement propels individuals to achieve great feats and contribute to society. To express appreciation effectively, Carnegie advises against resorting to empty flattery and instead encourages genuine recognition of others' strengths and contributions. Simple gestures like saying "thank you" and "I'm sorry" can go a long way in demonstrating appreciation. Moreover, acknowledging the importance of others and recognizing their unique qualities helps cultivate a mindset of humility and respect. Carnegie draws inspiration from thinkers like Ralph Waldo Emerson, who viewed every individual as superior in certain aspects, emphasizing the value of learning from others and appreciating their virtues. Similarly, adhering to the Golden Rule, treating others as one would like to be treated, guides individuals in extending genuine appreciation to those around them. By actively appreciating others, whether it's acknowledging the efforts of a service employee or expressing gratitude to colleagues, individuals can positively impact relationships and create a more enjoyable and productive environment. Ultimately, cultivating a habit of sincere appreciation not only enhances one's likability, but also contributes to the well-being and satisfaction of those around them. Chapter 3 emphasizes the importance of appealing to another person's interests in order to effectively influence them. Carnegie draws a vivid analogy between fishing and human interaction, highlighting that just as one wouldn't bait a fishing line with cheesecake to catch fish, one shouldn't approach people solely with their own interests in mind. Instead, Carnegie suggests aligning one's communication with what the other person desires. Recognizing that everyone is primarily concerned with their own wants and needs, he advocates for focusing on understanding and addressing those desires. By reframing interactions to center around the other person's interests, individuals can build rapport and effectively communicate their message. Carnegie stresses the importance of empathizing with the other person's perspective before speaking. This involves pausing to consider what the other person stands to gain from the interaction and refraining from solely advocating for one's own agenda. By consistently demonstrating a genuine desire to help others achieve their goals, individuals can distinguish themselves from those who are solely self-serving. An anecdote about Andrew Carnegie illustrates the power of appealing to others' interests. By subtly indicating that he was sending a monetary gift without explicitly mentioning it, Carnegie received a response from his sister-in-law's children, demonstrating how understanding and addressing others' desires can lead to successful communication and influence. In essence, Chapter 3 underscores the importance of empathy and selflessness in interpersonal interactions, highlighting that those who genuinely serve others hold a significant advantage in influencing and building meaningful relationships. Part 2. 6 Ways to Make People Like You. Chapter 1 emphasizes the importance of becoming genuinely interested in other people. Carnegie compares the universally loved and approachable nature of dogs to illustrate how showing interest in others can make them feel important and valued. He highlights that people are inherently more interested in themselves than in others, making it easier to build relationships by demonstrating genuine curiosity about others' backgrounds, goals, and challenges. Carnegie encourages going out of one's way to engage with individuals across all levels, from employees to superiors, as expressing sincere interest in their lives and experiences can foster a sense of importance and connection. In Chapter 2, Carnegie discusses the power of a smile in conveying warmth, goodwill, and liking towards others. He shares the story of William B. Steinhardt, a New York stockbroker who transformed his personal and professional relationships by simply smiling more. Steinhardt's experiment of greeting people with a smile led to increased happiness and positivity in his interactions, ultimately improving his overall well-being and success. Carnegie explains how a genuine smile can instantly make one more likable and approachable as it communicates happiness and appreciation. Just as we respond positively to the smiles of babies and dogs, showing genuine delight in seeing others can elicit reciprocal feelings of happiness and warmth. Together, these chapters underscore the importance of genuine interest in others and the power of a smile in building rapport and fostering positive relationships. By demonstrating sincere curiosity and expressing warmth through a smile, individuals can create connections that lead to mutual liking and influence. Chapter 3 highlights the significance of remembering and using a person's name as a powerful tool in building connections and relationships. Carnegie emphasizes that a person's name holds immense importance to them, representing their identity and uniqueness, among others. The chapter begins with the author's personal reflection on his past disregard for remembering names and the realization of its importance after reading the book. Remembering someone's name, Carnegie explains, demonstrates genuine interest and attentiveness in conversation, fostering a sense of closeness and connection. Carnegie provides practical advice on how to improve name retention, such as paying close attention when names are mentioned, repeating them back immediately, and making associations to aid memory. He emphasizes the importance of using the person's name in conversation, as it not only strengthens recall, but also makes the individual feel valued and respected. Furthermore, Carnegie illustrates the significance of remembering names in professional settings, citing examples of business negotiations where mentioning a person's name can significantly impact their enthusiasm and cooperation. In conclusion, Chapter 3 underscores the importance of respecting and remembering a person's name as a fundamental aspect of effective communication and relationship building. By demonstrating attentiveness and using names thoughtfully, individuals can create stronger connections and enhance their influence in various social and professional contexts. Chapter 4 underscores the importance of being a good listener and encouraging others to talk about themselves. Carnegie highlights that individuals often find their own experiences and challenges to be the most significant aspects of their lives, and allowing them to share these experiences can make them feel important and valued. The chapter emphasizes the power of listening attentively to others rather than being preoccupied with one's own thoughts or waiting for an opportunity to speak. Carnegie illustrates this principle with a personal anecdote from a dinner party where he listened intently to a botanist's fascinating descriptions of exotic plants and experiments. Despite barely contributing to the conversation, Carnegie left a strong impression on the botanist, who praised his conversational skills. Carnegie acknowledges his past neglect of this principle, admitting that he used to be more focused on steering conversations towards his own interests, or planning what to say next while others spoke. However, he emphasizes the transformative impact of genuinely listening to others, as it not only fosters deeper connections, but also allows individuals to learn from others' experiences and perspectives. To effectively implement this principle, Carnegie suggests combining attentive listening with sincere appreciation and praise for the speaker's stories and knowledge. By demonstrating genuine interest and engagement in others' experiences, individuals can cultivate stronger relationships and influence others positively. In summary, Chapter 4 highlights the importance of active listening and genuine interest in others' experiences as essential components of effective communication and relationship building. By prioritizing the needs and interests of others in conversation, individuals can create meaningful connections and foster mutual respect and understanding. Chapter 5 advises talking in terms of the other person's interests to effectively engage and influence them. Carnegie uses the analogy of fishing with bait that the fish desires, rather than using cheesecake, to illustrate this principle. People, he explains, are naturally more enthusiastic about topics that align with their own interests and goals rather than those that only matter to the speaker. To apply this principle, Carnegie suggests thoroughly researching the interests of others before engaging in conversation. By understanding their major goals and aspirations, individuals can tailor their communication to highlight how they can contribute to helping the other person achieve those goals. Carnegie provides a personal example of how he approaches his YouTube channel's growth goal. Instead of directly asking viewers to subscribe to reach his target, he focuses on providing valuable content that aligns with their interests and goals. By offering useful information and adding positive value to their lives, he creates a context where subscribing and engaging with future content becomes a logical next step for viewers who are interested in personal growth. In essence, Chapter 5 emphasizes the importance of shifting the focus of conversation towards the other person's interests and goals. By demonstrating how one's message or actions can benefit the other person, individuals can create genuine connections and influence others positively. This approach not only fosters deeper engagement but also enhances the likelihood of achieving mutual objectives. Chapter 6 emphasizes the importance of making others feel important, genuinely and sincerely. Carnegie acknowledges that nearly everyone individuals encounter possesses some form of superiority or expertise, and recognizing and acknowledging this in subtle ways can significantly impact their perception of themselves and their relationship with the speaker. The chapter advises against actions that belittle or diminish others, highlighting the importance of offering praise without ulterior motives. Carnegie stresses the importance of radiating happiness and uplifting others through sincere appreciation and acknowledgement of their worth. Additionally, Chapter 6 serves as a recap of previous principles, underscoring the interconnectedness of making others feel important with other concepts discussed earlier in the book. Moving into Part 3 of the book, Carnegie transitions to discussing 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking. This section addresses how to handle disagreements and conflicts, urging readers to resist the instinct to respond with hostility or a desire to prove oneself right. Instead, Carnegie advises individuals to prioritize maintaining the other person's sense of importance and avoiding actions that insult their pride. In essence, Chapter 6 encapsulates the overarching theme of the book: fostering positive relationships and influencing others through genuine appreciation, respect, and consideration for their feelings and perspectives. By making others feel important and valued, individuals can cultivate stronger connections and ultimately achieve greater success in their personal and professional lives. Chapter 1 advises that the best approach to handling arguments is to avoid them altogether. Carnegie argues that engaging in arguments rarely leads to a satisfactory resolution. If one loses, they suffer the direct consequences of defeat. If one wins, the other party may resent them, hindering any genuine agreement or understanding. Moreover, arguments often reinforce the opposing party's stance rather than persuading them to reconsider. Carnegie suggests preemptively avoiding disputes by remaining composed, controlling one's temper, and listening attentively to the other person's perspective without resistance. He advocates for seeking common ground and areas of agreement to reduce defensiveness and foster a more constructive dialogue. In Chapter 2, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of beginning interactions in a friendly manner. He compares persuading someone to catching flies, noting that hostility only breeds reciprocal hostility. Instead, Carnegie encourages approaching others with a friendly attitude, akin to offering honey to attract flies. An anecdote is shared about a tenant facing a rent increase who, instead of reacting with hostility or complaints, expressed appreciation for the landlord and the property while also explaining his financial constraints. This friendly approach helped maintain a positive relationship and potentially influenced the landlord's decision. In summary, both chapters advocate for a diplomatic and friendly approach to communication and conflict resolution. By avoiding arguments and beginning interactions with a friendly demeanor, individuals can foster positive relationships and increase the likelihood of achieving mutually beneficial outcomes. Chapter 3 emphasizes the importance of showing respect for the opinions of others and avoiding the phrase, "you're wrong." Carnegie argues that directly challenging someone's opinion can provoke a defensive reaction, causing them to fiercely defend their viewpoint rather than engaging in constructive dialogue. The chapter illustrates this principle with a personal anecdote involving hiring an interior decorator. Initially, the author defended the high cost of the decorator's services when challenged by a friend, interpreting it as a sign of quality. However, when another friend praised the same curtains, the author's perspective shifted, and he acknowledged feeling overcharged. This shift occurred because the second friend's positive approach allowed the author to freely admit his mistake without feeling attacked. Carnegie warns against telling someone they are wrong, as it can be perceived as a direct attack on their intelligence and self-esteem. Instead, he advises approaching disagreements with humility and respect, acknowledging the validity of the other person's perspective, and seeking common ground. In summary, Chapter 3 underscores the importance of respecting others' opinions and avoiding confrontational language in disagreements. By approaching conversations with humility and a willingness to listen, individuals can foster constructive dialogue and maintain positive relationships. Chapter 4 advocates for promptly and emphatically admitting one's mistakes when wrong. Carnegie illustrates this principle with a personal anecdote involving walking his dog, Rex, in a forest where leash laws were in place. When confronted by a police officer for violating the law, Carnegie immediately expressed sincere remorse and apologized, acknowledging his wrongdoing. The officer, instead of reacting with anger or issuing a fine, was lenient and even defended Carnegie's actions to some extent. This leniency stemmed from Carnegie's upfront admission of guilt, which shifted the dynamic of the interaction. By admitting his mistake, Carnegie disarmed the officer's criticism and allowed him to demonstrate generosity by forgiving him. Carnegie explains that admitting one's mistakes not only diffuses tension, but also allows the other person to feel important by showing forgiveness. He emphasizes that this approach is far more effective and enjoyable than defensively justifying or denying one's errors when confronted. In summary, Chapter 4 underscores the importance of humility and honesty in interpersonal interactions. By admitting mistakes promptly and sincerely, individuals can diffuse conflict, maintain positive relationships, and earn respect and forgiveness from others. Chapter 5 advises letting the other person do a great deal of talking during interactions. Carnegie emphasizes the importance of actively listening to the other person and encouraging them to fully express their ideas and viewpoints. Carnegie highlights that individuals who disagree with you are unlikely to pay attention to your perspective if they feel their own thoughts are not being heard or acknowledged. Therefore, he recommends resisting the urge to interrupt or interject during conversations. Interrupting can be detrimental, as it prevents the other person from fully expressing themselves and can lead to frustration and a sense of being unheard. To illustrate this point, Carnegie uses the metaphor of an empty bottle that fills as the person talks. When the bottle is full, the person becomes more receptive to new thoughts and ideas. However, interrupting empties the bottle, forcing the person to start over in expressing their thoughts. In summary, Chapter 5 underscores the importance of active listening and allowing the other person ample opportunity to express themselves during conversations. By resisting the temptation to interrupt and genuinely listening to the other person's perspective, individuals can foster better communication and understanding in their interactions. Chapter 6 encourages honestly trying to see things from the other person's point of view. Carnegie suggests that if one were to inhabit the same body as their partner, experiencing their life and seeing the world through their eyes, they would inevitably arrive at the same conclusions. Carnegie advocates for valuing the other person's ideas and feelings as much as one's own, emphasizing the importance of empathy and understanding in communication. He suggests adopting a perspective-taking approach to better understand the other person's interests and concerns, which can aid in articulating arguments that appeal to those interests. To illustrate this concept, Carnegie offers the example of a job interview. Instead of viewing it solely as an opportunity to solve one's own problem of finding employment, he advises considering the interviewer's perspective. By empathizing with the interviewer's desire to find the right fit for the position, one can tailor their approach to address the interviewer's concerns and needs, ultimately increasing the likelihood of success. In summary, Chapter 6 emphasizes the value of empathy and perspective-taking in communication and problem-solving. By genuinely trying to understand the other person's point of view and addressing their interests and concerns, individuals can build stronger relationships and achieve mutually beneficial outcomes. Chapter 7 advises being sympathetic to the other person's ideas and desires. Carnegie acknowledges that individuals often feel completely justified in their emotions, particularly when upset or angry. He highlights the human need for sympathy and recognition of one's feelings, emphasizing that people crave understanding and validation of their experiences. Carnegie suggests that by showing sympathy towards others and acknowledging their feelings, individuals can foster a sense of appreciation and understanding. He suggests that when individuals feel understood and valued, they are more likely to reciprocate and be open to considering alternative perspectives. In essence, Chapter 7 underscores the importance of empathy and compassion in communication and relationship building. By being sympathetic to the other person's ideas and desires, individuals can create a more positive and supportive environment, leading to better understanding and cooperation. Chapter 8 advises starting conversations with questions to which the other person will answer yes. Carnegie explains that beginning with areas of agreement helps prevent defensiveness and promotes consistency bias, making the other person more receptive to further discussion. Rather than immediately pushing one's own conclusion onto the other person, Carnegie recommends guiding them toward it through a series of logical questions. It's crucial to maintain a genuine and patient tone to avoid the conversation feeling like a trap. Carnegie illustrates this technique using a sales scenario by asking questions like, "Do you like to read?" and "Do you like saving money and time?" The salesperson leads the potential customer to affirm their preferences. Once a series of yes responses are obtained, the salesperson presents their product as fulfilling those desires. However, Carnegie cautions that if the approach feels manipulative or insincere, it can backfire, leaving the other person feeling trapped and turned off. In essence, Chapter 8 emphasizes the importance of starting conversations on a positive note by focusing on areas of agreement. By guiding the other person toward affirming their own desires and preferences, individuals can create a more receptive environment for further discussion and influence. Chapter 9 advises letting the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. Carnegie highlights that people tend to value and be more committed to ideas that they perceive as their own. Allowing individuals to generate their own ideas boosts their sense of intelligence and importance, as well as gives them a feeling of control. Carnegie shares a personal example of negotiating with a tough individual who was resistant to compromise. Sensing the difficulty in reaching an agreement, Carnegie shifted tactics and acknowledged the person's expertise, stating that he valued their opinion and wanted to hear their thoughts on how to move forward. This approach empowered the individual, transforming their stance from being adversarial to that of a mentor. By listening to the person's suggestions and ultimately implementing one of their ideas, Carnegie engaged the individual and fostered a sense of ownership and investment in the outcome. This strategy not only helped in reaching an agreement, but also strengthened the relationship and cooperation between both parties. In essence, Chapter 9 underscores the importance of allowing others to feel ownership of their ideas. By valuing their input and empowering them to contribute to the decision-making process, individuals can enhance collaboration, foster mutual respect, and achieve more successful outcomes in negotiations and interactions. Chapter 10 advises appealing to the nobler motive when seeking to influence others. Carnegie suggests that individuals often have two reasons for their actions, one that sounds good and a real underlying one. Rather than focusing on the real reason, Carnegie advocates appealing to the other person's highest moral principles and virtues. For instance, if someone is breaking an agreement, Carnegie recommends addressing the situation by appealing to their sense of integrity and honor. By reminding them of their reputation for high integrity and giving them time to reconsider their actions, individuals may be more inclined to uphold their commitments out of a desire to maintain their noble reputation. Carnegie acknowledges that humans are motivated by the desire to uphold noble motives and principles, even if they are tempted by less honorable reasons. By appealing to their sense of integrity and moral values, individuals can encourage others to act in accordance with their higher principles, fostering trust and cooperation in the process. In essence, Chapter 10 emphasizes the power of appealing to the nobler motives in influencing others' behavior. By reminding individuals of their inherent integrity and moral values, one can inspire them to uphold their commitments and act in alignment with their highest principles. Chapter 11 advocates for dramatizing ideas to capture attention and make them more compelling. Carnegie observes that attention is scarcer than ever, so simply stating a truth isn't enough. Ideas must be made vivid, interesting, and dramatic to truly capture interest. To illustrate this principle, Carnegie shares the example of a cash register salesman who dramatized the issue of a slow checkout line by throwing pennies on the floor to visually represent the money lost with each customer. This vivid demonstration effectively communicated the stakes and urgency of the situation. Carnegie suggests several tactics for applying this principle, such as providing visual analogies, showing objects for size, speed, and cost, and equating opportunities to dollars. He shares a personal example of using this tactic during a final presentation for his internship, where he emphasized the financial impact of his work, capturing the attention of managers and sparking engagement. In essence, Chapter 11 emphasizes the importance of making ideas visually compelling and emotionally resonant to capture attention and drive action. By dramatizing concepts and illustrating their significance in tangible terms, individuals can effectively communicate their message and influence others. Chapter 12 suggests throwing down a challenge as a way to motivate people when traditional methods of motivation fail. Carnegie notes that competition taps into individuals' desire for mastery and excellence, compelling them to strive for success. By subtly questioning their strength and framing tasks as challenges to overcome, individuals can be inspired to rise to the occasion. Moving on to Part 4, the final section of the book, Carnegie focuses on changing people without causing offense or resentment. Chapter 1 of Part 4 advises beginning with praise and appreciation when providing feedback or addressing issues with someone. Carnegie emphasizes that people are more receptive to constructive criticism when it is preceded by genuine praise. Rather than delivering formal or generalized praise, Carnegie recommends offering specific and sincere appreciation for the individual's strengths or accomplishments. This approach is particularly effective when addressing areas for improvement, as it softens the impact of criticism and fosters receptiveness to feedback. In essence, Chapter 12 highlights the power of competition and challenge in motivating individuals, while Chapter 1 of Part 4 emphasizes the importance of starting on a positive note when seeking to influence or change someone's behavior. By combining praise with honesty and specificity, individuals can effectively communicate feedback and encourage growth without causing offense or resentment. Chapter 2 advises calling attention to people's mistakes indirectly to avoid creating resistance. Carnegie suggests two tactics for doing so effectively. The first tactic involves following sincere praise with the word "and" rather than "but." Using "but" after praise can negate the positive effect and make the recipient feel criticized. For example, instead of saying, "You've done an excellent job working hard, but you could have prevented these careless mistakes," Carnegie recommends saying, "You've done an excellent job working hard, and if you focus next on building a checklist, you'll improve your accuracy rate." This approach maintains a positive tone and offers constructive advice for improvement without directly criticizing the person's mistakes. The second tactic involves taking initiative to correct a mistake yourself before addressing it with the individual. Carnegie shares the example of John Wanamaker, who observed a customer being ignored by salespeople and decided to serve the customer himself. Afterward, he handed the purchase to the salespeople to be wrapped, subtly demonstrating the importance of attending to customers promptly without directly reprimanding the sales staff. In essence, Chapter 2 underscores the importance of addressing mistakes indirectly to avoid resistance and foster receptiveness to feedback. By combining sincere praise with constructive suggestions and taking proactive steps to address issues, individuals can effectively influence behavior and promote improvement without causing offense or resentment. Chapter 3 advocates for discussing one's own mistakes before criticizing others. By admitting your own mistakes first, you demonstrate empathy and understanding, implicitly encouraging the other person to rise to your level. Carnegie suggests that if you want to influence others to see things from your perspective, it's essential to begin by sharing your own errors rather than immediately pointing out theirs. Criticizing someone directly can trigger defensiveness and resistance, hindering any potential for constructive dialogue. Instead, by first acknowledging your own fallibility, you create a more receptive atmosphere for discussion and mutual understanding. For example, the author shares a personal anecdote about his experiences hiring interns. Initially, he struggled to connect with shy and stressed-out candidates during interviews. However, by sharing his own embarrassing interview story and admitting his own mistakes, he was able to put the candidates at ease. This approach humanized the interaction, fostering a sense of camaraderie and making the candidates feel more comfortable sharing their own experiences. In essence, Chapter 3 emphasizes the importance of humility and vulnerability in communication. By openly acknowledging your own mistakes and vulnerabilities, you create a more empathetic and supportive environment that encourages others to do the same. This lays the groundwork for productive dialogue and mutual growth. Chapter 4 advises asking questions instead of issuing orders. This approach offers several benefits. 1. Encouraging independence. When you ask questions, you allow your partner to arrive at their own conclusions independently. People tend to favor their own ideas, so by prompting them to think critically, you foster a sense of ownership over the solution. 2. Empowering individuals. By asking questions, you transfer control to the person, making them feel important and respected. Instead of simply following orders, they are now actively engaged in decision-making. 3. Stimulating creativity. Asking questions can stimulate creativity and innovation. By encouraging your partner to explore different possibilities and perspectives, new and better ideas may emerge. Some examples of questions you can use include: do you think that would work? What do you think of this approach? Can we brainstorm different ways to approach this? By incorporating questioning into your interactions, you empower others, foster creativity, and ultimately facilitate more effective collaboration and problem-solving. Chapter 5 emphasizes the importance of allowing others to save face. When people feel respected and valued, they are more open to influence and cooperation. Here's how you can let others preserve their pride. 1. Avoid humiliation. Recognize that people have a strong desire to feel important. If you undermine their dignity or embarrass them, they will likely become defensive and resistant to your influence. 2. Acknowledge effort. Instead of focusing on mistakes or shortcomings, acknowledge the person's efforts and intentions. Offer constructive feedback in a respectful manner, highlighting areas for improvement without diminishing their value as an individual. 3. Express confidence. Show confidence in the person's abilities and reassure them that you believe in their potential. By expressing faith in their capabilities, you boost their confidence and encourage them to strive for excellence. For example, if an employee makes a mistake, avoid harsh criticism and instead offer understanding and support. Acknowledge the error, express confidence in their ability to rectify it, and focus on finding solutions together. Ultimately, by allowing others to save face, you demonstrate empathy, respect, and consideration, fostering positive relationships and facilitating effective communication and collaboration. Chapter 6 emphasizes the power of praising even the slightest improvement in others. By acknowledging and celebrating progress, you motivate individuals to continue striving for excellence. Here's how you can effectively apply this principle. 1. Be genuine. Ensure that your praise is sincere and specific. Instead of offering generic compliments, highlight a particular accomplishment or positive behavior. This demonstrates that you are paying attention and genuinely appreciate their efforts. 2. Provide timely feedback. Don't wait for major milestones to offer praise. Recognize and celebrate progress as it happens, no matter how small. This immediate feedback reinforces positive behavior and encourages continuous improvement. 3. Encourage growth. By praising incremental improvements, you inspire individuals to challenge themselves and aim for higher standards. This creates a culture of continuous learning and development, fostering personal and professional growth. For example, if you notice a colleague making an effort to improve their time management skills, acknowledge their progress and commend them for their dedication. Recognizing their incremental achievements can boost their confidence and motivation to further enhance their abilities. In your own experiences, you saw firsthand how praising small victories transformed a colleague's behavior and attitude. By focusing on the positives and offering genuine recognition, you helped him become more proactive and engaged in his work. This illustrates the profound impact that consistent and specific praise can have on individual performance and morale. Chapter 7. Advises giving someone a fine reputation to live up to as a means of encouraging positive behavior. By affirming a desirable trait as already part of their identity, you motivate them to embody that characteristic. Here's how you can effectively apply this principle. 1. Recognize their strengths. Identify a positive attribute or quality that you want to reinforce in the individual. This could be something they already possess, or a trait you believe they have the potential to develop. 2. Affirm their reputation. Communicate to the person and others around them that this trait is a defining aspect of their character. Offer genuine praise and recognition for instances where they demonstrate this quality. 3. Encourage consistency. Encourage the person to live up to this reputation by consistently demonstrating the desired behavior. Reinforce the importance of maintaining this positive trait and the benefits it brings to their relationships and reputation. For instance, if you want to encourage a friend to become more reliable and trustworthy, you could casually mention to others how dependable and trustworthy they are known to be. By affirming this reputation, you create an expectation for them to uphold it, motivating them to act in accordance with that image. In summary, by giving someone a positive reputation to live up to, you inspire them to embody the qualities you admire and encourage them to strive for excellence in their behavior and actions. Chapter 8. Advises making a fault seem easy to correct by offering encouragement and emphasizing the potential for improvement. Rather than focusing on the deficiency itself, highlight the individual's strengths and affirm their ability to overcome the challenge. Here's how you can effectively apply this principle. 1. Acknowledge their potential. Recognize the person's innate abilities or existing skills relevant to the task at hand. Offer genuine praise and encouragement to boost their confidence and motivation. 2. Provide constructive feedback. Offer specific guidance on how they can improve, focusing on actionable steps that are within their reach. Break down the task into manageable components and emphasize the progress they can make with practice and effort. 3. Frame the challenge. Positively, present the fault or challenge as an opportunity for growth and development rather than a permanent limitation. Use positive language to convey optimism and belief in their ability to succeed. For example, instead of telling a struggling dancer that they lack talent and will never improve, a dance instructor could offer encouragement by saying, "You have a natural sense of rhythm and a lot of potential as a dancer. With some practice and dedication, you'll continue to improve and become even better." By making the fault seem easy to correct and providing positive reinforcement, you inspire confidence and motivation in the individual, empowering them to overcome challenges and achieve success. Chapter 9. Advises making the person happy about following your suggestions by aligning their interests with yours and presenting the benefits in a transparent manner. Here's how you can effectively apply this principle. 1. Acknowledge your intentions. Be upfront about why you are suggesting a particular course of action. Transparency builds trust and helps prevent suspicion about your motives. 2. Highlight mutual benefits. Emphasize how both parties stand to gain from following your suggestion. By focusing on shared interests and positive outcomes, you can create a win-win situation that motivates the person to take action. 3. Maintain authenticity. Avoid coming across as disingenuous by genuinely caring about the other person's interests and well-being. Show empathy and understanding, and tailor your suggestions to their preferences and needs. For example, if you're asking someone to subscribe to your channel, you could say something like, "I really appreciate your support, and subscribing to my channel helps me continue creating content that you find valuable. Plus, you'll be the first to know when I upload new videos, so it's a win-win for both of us." By being transparent, highlighting mutual benefits, and maintaining authenticity, you can make the person feel happy and enthusiastic about following your suggestions.